Okay. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. We are back with a new episode. We are still watching the challenge season 40. This is episode 4. And this episode, a lot happened, but it wasn't like super busy. But I always love a trivia episode. I always love an episode. I did.
um, I do love a trivia episode, but I don't. The politics of this game is starting to get real muddy,
Mhm.
and that's what I don't like, because I don't like people trying to use their relationships as, I don't know. I just feel like we'll get into it, but some people logic just don't make sense to me. And so yeah. So at the top of the episode, we get back into the house, and yeah, so we see there was a conversation between Laurel and Janae, where Laurel basically says that, well, Janae mentions that, this game is going to be ever changing because you have different parts you have to think about. Not only do you have to think about winning the daily, you have to think about winning the elimination, and then you also have to think about who you're going to target next. Because if your team, if you're the target, then you can go in automatically, or you can either win or just you be safe up for elimination. And then Laurel says that she doesn't understand what being a target means, but I was confused because TJ told them explicitly that if you lose, you're going straight in. So I don't understand how she was confused on that. But yeah.
Yeah. And then we also see so we know who the targets were who was decided to be the targets by I believe Avery and Darrell.
Yes.
Avery and Darrell. And so Anissa from Arrow One was one of the people was decided Anissa and Derek. And Anissa, is feeling type of way because, she feels people underestimate her and they kind of show like her bond with Jenny, and Jenny is being like super supportive and like saying she's willing to help her train. And Anissa says she has been training, and people don't like, they're like they're judging her based off, like they're not
Physical
giving her,
appearance. Yeah.
yeah, so that, yeah, she's saying fit can look different ways. And so she's saying she is prepared and people are underestimate her. And
I,
so I like that moment that they had, and I was like, again, I'm like, I would like for Anissa to prove everybody wrong.
but in the same breath, yes, being fit can look different for everybody. But when you constantly show that no matter what shape you in, that you're just not good, people are going to not believe that you will be a asset to them. Like,
Mhm.
again, like you said, you made it last season to a finale, yet you still didn't do anything. You can blame that, nobody said it wasn't about you not being fit. It's just you don't do anything. Like, so yeah, granted, you can show that you want it, but it's not just about showing that you want it. You have to back it up.
Yeah.
Jordan just don't, people don't say Jordan is just a force because he's fit. Jordan is a force because he's backing up. Same thing with Horacio. Same thing with Olivia. Like, yeah. But I don't know. I just don't. I'm tired of this storyline for Anissa. And like, if she really want people to like take her seriously, she needs to show up. And that's all it boils down to. Just show up.
Okay. And then we also get the we get a conversation between Tori and Josh, kind of squashing their beef from the previous episode, where Josh said like, we ain't got to be friends, we ain't friends for real anymore. And
And I was just say, I love you. You like a sister to me. So
yeah,
we
so
all knew that was
they
going to be.
squashed it, which was fine. I mean, yes, okay. I was
Josh said something at the end of the episode, well, towards the middle of the episode, that made me cackle. When they was talking about like nominations and stuff. But so the players arrive at the
wait, I was
daily.
about to say, I feel like Tori this season and Josh, I feel like maybe they just trying to be drama free, which I can appreciate. You don't think so? I think Josh didn't. He wasn't. I
Josh
mean,
screams drama.
obviously, last episode was a little drama, but I mean, they squashed it quick this episode, so I was happy about that, and it wasn't the
Because they
usual
need each other.
drawn out Josh of it all.
Josh game solely relies on friendships. And if you
Well,
cutting
yeah,
Tori out, Tori is the proponent of friendships get you far in this game.
They do.
Like,
They
yes,
do
she
a
can
darn
back it up on
right.
her own, but Tori Games solely relies on like her ties to everybody. So of
But
course you
it
need
does.
to.
But she is also no.
That's why I said she can back it up on
I
her
think
own
hers is
too,
an
but
equal playing field. Josh's relies 90
solely on friendships.
97% on friendship. Tori's game is friendships, but it's 50-50.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
why I
good
said she can
competitor
do it on
and my
her
friendships get
own,
me through.
but a lot of the time her friendships has gotten her through
Yeah.
majority of the challenge.
Yeah. But people are willing to back her because she is a good competitor.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go with with the same logic, Anissa has friendships, but they don't consider her a good competitor, so they're not willing to put their neck on the line because it's like I don't think you can come through. But
Yeah.
Tori, I'ma go with this because I think you can come through with the competition. So they're literally Anissa and Tori are the same competitor friend like with the house and politicking,
Yeah.
but I believe that Tori is better as far as the game competitor. So that's why I think they're a little different. But go ahead with the we can go to the challenge.
So the daily this season, well, not this season, the daily this episode is um trivia, basically Jeopardy style. It's called Cradle Cranium. Each player will be 30 feet above the water in the cradle position. Although that quickly changed because people were just sitting up there at certain points. But they'll be asked a series of questions with categories that span from the challenge. Each category has 10 questions with varying levels of difficulties, 100 to 400.
Mhm.
If a player answers the questions correctly, they'll get the points. If they're wrong, two players from the area will drop in the water. The team with the most points at the end will win. Basically, if everyone on your team falls in the water, you could still win if you have the most points. In the event of the tie, they will go to sudden death. The area that loses their targets will go straight into elimination, and the area that wins, their targets will be the ones holding the master. There will be the master of ceremonies. Um,
And did they tell them that the people on the ends were the people that were going to be the ones to drop? I couldn't
I don't
remember
think so.
because if they like that would have helped people formulate their game. You know, I'm gonna put my main
I'm not
person.
pitting Devin at the end. You're in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah. Devin in the middle, Kylan in the middle. Certain people need to be in the middle, but I
Yeah,
think maybe they did because Anissa was the last person standing for her team. She was in the middle, and then Kylan, I believe, was the last person. Jordan was. I think they did tell them because they
yeah.
did have their trivia people in the middle.
But also, if y'all falling, I don't need you to be holding on to this pole. What are you doing?
Well, they was holding on to the pole because they didn't want to fall.
I understand that, but that's not the rules. The rules
No,
is you get a
I'm with
drop.
them. They trying to hold on. I'm a fall, but I need to make sure I fall straight
No,
down.
you're not falling. You're releasing, and that's
No,
not the
I'm not trying.
rules.
I'm not trying to fall on my back. We saw what happened after CT fell. They was like, ah. They was like, not about to happen. I'm with them.
um, Also, there was something I was about to say, but I forgot. Kylan, he mentioned that he was like a super fan and that he knew all this challenge trivia, but he was losing left and right.
I mean, he was, but some of the challenge trivia that he got was kind of obscure. Like, what sea was it? I'm sorry.
No, it
He
was
said,
like what? No, one of them he should have got was the CT and Brad. He said
oh well, yeah,
so.
that one, yeah. But the one with the GNC, I was like, okay. I mean, that was. I mean, but it was for 400 points, so I was like, I can understand you not knowing that. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen every episode almost, and I do not remember what scene was in this chapter. No, I'm okay with them not knowing that. That's okay.
yeah. So throughout it, pretty also they must have been on a time crunch. They must only have that location for a certain amount because two people is wild.
Yeah, they was
Like the
like, we
game
need
was
to
over
wrap this
before it
up.
started.
We have 30 minutes.
The
That's
game
it.
was over before it started. By
Yeah.
2 minutes in, half a
Half the
team,
people was gone.
three, team four was gone.
Yeah. Team four was gone, and then it was the game really relied on the era two and era three.
Yeah. So basically, era 2 and 3 were tied at 1,600 points. Then they ended up going to sudden death,
Because they
and this
couldn't
is
neither one of
when,
them could get it right. So I
yeah,
thought it was over when Jordan fell, and then I didn't realize what was happening. But yeah, they had to go into sudden death.
yeah, because when Jordan fell, he was by himself, and then Error 2 had 4 people, but they couldn't get it. So they ended up in Sword of Death. It was basically Laurel versus Jordan, and basically it was a dual question. When was the first pole wrestle introduced? Which I just said that last episode, so of course we gonna know is that not the last episode, but the first episode when we had to do a pole wrestle. So of course I knew what it was, so that wasn't fair. But then Jordan,
they said who was
Devin's rival in Rivals 3 or whatever, and it was Cheyenne, and
but
Corey was
I
trying
don't
to
know about
signal.
this. So Corey said they had talked about it. Okay. And
Corey said they talked about it the night before. The night before, come on now.
And
then Jordan went to his baby shower with Cheyenne there. So, and then Cheyenne is an MTV like staple now because she's on Teen Mom. Yeah. Like you know that woman's name.
I'm sure you know her name, but maybe not in conjunction with who Devin's rival was. But
he started with the C, and he was starting to say he started with the C, and then he ended up
with about to say I forgot the one
Chantel or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah,
he ended up with Sylvia.
Sylvia, yes. So he said the wrong name, and I was like, he said, he forgot, and Corey's like, something's going on, and the producers asked him like about it. He said he just forgot, but then he had like a smirk on his face. But I actually don't understand the reason why he would not get it right. I don't get how it benefits him not to get it right.
Because that means Johnny and Laurel would have been in elimination.
Johnny and Laurel would have been in elimination
instead of him.
No.
Yes.
Why would they have been in elimination?
Because he would have won.
Okay. The loser was already decided. The loser was Horacio.
But Johnny and Laurel would have been one of the nominations. And if it's Johnny and Laurel,
but versus, if you're he gets to pick. So I don't understand why you.
But he also won half of the team. Naya would have jumped to pick Johnny. Everybody on Team 3 would have told him to pick Johnny. And
okay, so you're saying you think he wouldn't have been able to save Laurel and Johnny because his team would have been gunning for them. So this way he don't have to pick.
Correct. And if he is working with Johnny and Laurel, it's better for them to be the ones in power. That way, all I got to do is just mind my business. Let them, do the votes or whatever. I know I'm safe because we working together. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, blink, blink. But
okay, because I didn't get it. I was like, what does it benefit him to say no? Laurel wasn't going to pick him anyway. So okay, that makes sense. Okay, because I was so confused. But yeah, and then so he gets it wrong. Laurel and go ahead.
I was gonna say we forgot to mention. We kind of mentioned it, but CT does fall into the water and end up getting escorted away.
Yeah, he had to go to the hospital. So Jordan loses, Laurel and Johnny win, so they are the only target pair that is safe, and they get to pick from the other target pairs who's going against Horacio and Jenny.
Which is Derek and Anissa, and then Jordan and Naya.
Yeah, and so as they're walking to go back, it was just a random argument. She tells Darrell, like, basically she's like,
yeah, she tells Darrell, go back and get like more massages. You're mad.
She said you're mad. It's so crazy because Darrell didn't say anything to her, but she's mad because Darrell made her a target. I have to pick somebody.
Yeah, like, and why not pick a strong person? You're strong. Crazy. Like, I don't understand what people like. I get it. It's a game. I get it. You have relationships in the house. But for some reason, I don't understand why people are surprised if people pick them. Like, you're strong. Like, it's a no-brainer that I'm picking you.
Yeah, she's like, I bet you're mad, Darrell. Not really. I actually don't care. Because I had to pick somebody.
Either way it goes, I'm getting rid of a strong team, whether it's Jordan or Horacio, and you're with just another one into the equation. So whether it goes, we're getting rid of a power player.
Yeah, so like, I don't understand. You're like, you're mad. You look, so she said, you look dumb. And he's like, what are you talking about, Laura? Like,
and then she was like, go get another massage from Emily.
And Emily's like, don't throw me in it. Like,
yeah, she was like, hey, I do this for a living. I am a professional masseuse. And I don't know if she was trying to insinuate something that
Yeah, she
Darrell
was.
was.
She was like, "Go get another massage as a married man." She was trying to insinuate
Yeah,
something.
like what are
Um,
you doing, man? Like he has a
yeah,
wife. Why would you even do that? Like no time since Darrell been in this game has like fidelity ever been part of his storyline, or like infidelity, or him even like entertaining like a showman. So why would you even like put that out there in the
and
air?
MTV would definitely probably try to do that if it was a thing.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
plus, Emily
I was
got her
like,
own bouvet going on. She don't need Darrell.
you said what?
Emily
Oh
got her
yeah,
own
yeah.
bouvet. Like,
Yeah, and yeah, so that was just weird because before it's just like I had to pick somebody. Now, specifically, I'm going to pick you. Like now I didn't care before. We just had to pick. I was forced under the gun. I had to. But now it's like, Laurel, like I don't even have to think. And then I don't have to give you a reason because you know now. So
yeah.
because you are doing weird things. So yeah, that was such a weird argument. Everybody was looking around like, huh? So
uh, so we get back to the house. CT returns and basically informs everybody that he's a clean bill of health. He's just
I mean, but I,
old.
I just told you he was going to because the preview he is arguing with somebody at a challenge, so I
We know
knew
this, GG.
that
We
he.
know.
Yeah, I knew.
But basically, he said the only thing that he lost was his dignity. And they head out for the night. And we in the club, we see a couple of different conversations. Jordan tells Naya that they basically should form a deal with Bananas, and that Naya should just go into the nomination chamber quiet and just kind of kiss Johnny Rain, which is check two on the whole Jordan and Johnny
Yeah.
Bananas
And then
kind of working an angle deal. Or even it could just be that he knew that Laura wasn't gonna vote for him. That could be the whole thing
yeah,
behind it. But it's making it seem like Jordan and Bananas are in
I
cahoots
mean, which
to
is
some
smart.
extent.
It's about time. I mean, but Jordan, that's what happens when you been in a game for a minute. None of that what's
He
that?
even said it. It took me a while to get
Yeah,
here,
none
but
of that stuff that he came in there with is like you don't really care about that stuff. You here for money, and I already got respect. People already respect Jordan. So what am I really here to prove? Yep. Yeah, we working together. You're amazing. Okay, don't vote me off. Like you don't get that's like George, like Johnny and Wes when they started working together. None of that young stuff when we was young and stupid. We didn't care about nothing like then. Now that stuff is irrelevant.
so we see basically Corey and Devin said that the something smells funny in the air, that they
Yeah,
think Jordan threw the challenge because Jordan basically how we said Jordan was at Corey and Cheyenne's baby shower reveal. So they don't know how Jordan didn't know Cheyenne's name. And they definitely think that Jordan is working with Bananas.
yeah,
Also, we see Brad and Emily, having a little mini date away from
yeah. And
everybody.
everybody's like, they're cute. They on a date.
Yeah. And I don't know because Emily brought up that Brad is able to like turn off different parts of himself to kind of play the game, and she says she's not there, so we don't know if this is boding to her maybe betraying Brad because she's like she don't know how to cut it off or whatever the case may be, and that she just kind of want to have fun, or we don't know if Brad going to backstab her. So it seems like there's going to be something more to their relationship on the other spectrum to like the not Corey, Theo and Olivia relationship or whatever.
Yeah,
But also we see Anissa, telling Banana just spare her and Derek, and Banana says he has their backs, but if Laura puts her foot down, that's just it. That he's not going to pull a Tony and stalemate.
yeah. He's like, I'm not about to stalemate, so it's gonna be what it is. But they have when they have their little mini meeting with their team, Laurel and Johnny, when they
Well,
have
before we get there, we see a conversation with Laura and Horacio, and basically he says that he'd rather take on Derek and run the final with Jordan. And Laura agrees because they both see they want strong people in the final. Well,
yeah,
Horacio want to go against the best.
yeah,
Laura
right.
just want to stack herself up with the best chances to win if it is a paired.
Yeah, she don't mind. I'm sure she wants to
Yeah.
take out the strong people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
strong women.
then we go into era two, basically meets at a team. And for some reason, Nehemiah thinks they're supposed to be all kumbaya. And
Yeah, I was like, Nehemiah,
to
I
an
know
extent, I get it, but sir,
I know Johnny and Laura was like, Nehemiah, we gonna do what we want. I don't know. I
like
know
Johnny
Johnny and
looked
Laura in
at
their heads is like, I
like
don't know why he was giving his opinion because like Johnny said, Johnny's like, Laurel, I think what they're trying to say is they want input into it. And Laurel didn't say nothing. I know she was
Laura was
thinking,
like, sir, because it's only our votes that matter. Like,
yeah. So I was like, okay, this conversation is pointless because if they don't agree, they're not going to listen to what their team has to say. So I don't know why they had that conversation.
yeah, they was just like, okay, Laura was just like, I'm just forced to be here. I'll be here so I don't get fined.
Basically,
But basically, they say that they want Jordan to be gone. Well, Nehemiah says that, and Laura basically says that Jordan put his neck out for me. When I told him to get rid of people, he got rid of them. They dated. They got a history. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I
yeah,
don't care.
yeah, exactly. So okay, so let's go to the actual like the
Nomination.
chamber with the
Yeah,
people who are
so the masters of ceremony, Laurel and Johnny, they start out. Derek pulls out a list and basically says that team 3 and 4 are y'all strongest bet, and if y'all keep them here, y'all are basically setting yourselves up for failure. Essentially, he said it without saying that having team 1 here helps y'all because we're all weak anyway, and we're on life support and we're crippled and we're achy and yeah. And then Jordan says, which is of course a Jordan thing to do, that's all cute and whatever, but if you're not winning, if you don't have power, how can you return a favor to anybody?
yeah,
And that's why Jordan is the way Jordan is, because he
yeah.
knows. In just that instance, it's like that's anybody. It's like anybody can get away with that. Like I win, they don't. I'm gonna be in that position at any point. So who do you really want to keep here to save you if you do me this favor? So
And
yeah,
Jordan will nominate himself to go down to eliminations. So yeah, I want that person on my team because he might nominate himself for me. You don't know.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
it was pretty much dead to rights anyway. So
yeah.
we get to the arena. Laura and Bananas reveal that they are choosing Horacio and Jenny to go against Derek and Anissa, and they are playing Pick It Up, where players will basically have to play basketball. They'll shoot the ball up in their track as it's rolling down. They'll have just seconds to gather as many jacks from the ground as they can and make it to the end and put it in a peg wall. And whoever gets all 40 jacks wins their contest. And I will say, I was surprised at Anissa. I was pleasantly
Anissa
surprised.
did so good. Like literally, I don't know what Anissa did. No, I don't know. I'm thinking about Jenny. Anissa did so good, and I think she definitely surprised a lot of people because she was right on Jenny's tails. I feel like Jenny might like people were surprised how Jenny was doing. They felt like she kept stopping, but I feel like she might have like it seemed like asthma or something. Like she was having a hard time breathing.
Yeah. But
Like
I
is
think
that
Jenny never, well, I don't want to say never. I don't think cardio has ever been her thing. But then again, like we said, or like I've been saying, we haven't seen too much of her in a while. So I don't know if even in the final she was gassing out like that. But yeah, that was ridiculous. But also, once they started doing like the time lapse, Jenny was ahead of Anissa by like 3 or 4. And I was like, when did this happen? Like, how did that happen? Because even when Jenny was like breaking, she was still ahead of Anissa.
Yeah, she was ahead, but she kept stopping. So Anissa kept catching up. She stopped, and then she was stopping. And Anissa caught up. Anissa did very, very well. Like
Yeah.
like she was right behind her. If Jenny would have
Took
uh
one more break.
one more break, she was about to win. She was not stopping. She did amazing.
Yeah. I
But
will say also, I don't know, because I think we see it later in the guys. They were grabbing more than 2, but it seemed like Anissa and Jenny were only grabbing like 2.
because I think you
Want
pick
to
up
be
as
safe to sorry.
yeah, I guess yeah, you picking up what you can in the time so you could catch the ball. I think when the guys
Yeah.
came, they was being riskier and picking up more than one. But yeah, but with the Jenny and Anissa thing, Jenny won that by only 1 point, I think.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I think it was like 2 or 3.
yeah, 1 or 2. But yeah, Jenny won that one. And Nisa went home, but she did amazing. And so when it comes time for she did when it comes time for Horacio and
It was 40-37.
huh?
40-37.
What's that?
Anissa had 37, Jenny had 40.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So it was by 3.
Yeah, so she was close. When it comes time for Horacio and who am I thinking of? Who did Horacio go against?
Derek.
Yeah, I was sleeping in my mind. Um, I thought it was a close race as I thought it would be. They were both really good. They both were like you said, picking up two or three at a time, it seems. And at one point I think the whole game they were mostly neck and neck. Horacio pulled forward, then Derek, then Horacio, whatever. But at the when you get to the end, the camera clearly showed Derek winning. And then they showed Derek putting his peg in, and then they showed Horacio putting his peg in, and then the horn blew, and everybody was like, "Who won? Who won?" And I was like, "Derek won." It showed Derek winning. What are, what are we talking about? And then it was like, it was so close. I don't know who won. I was like, Derek won. It showed him putting his thing in there first. And then it was like Derek won. And so I was like, yes, everybody seems so surprised. I was confused. The editing, maybe they didn't do a good job of making the audience confused because I wasn't confused. I was like, it was clear that Derek won. But yeah, so Derek ends up winning that one, but only by one the thing. Well, not even by one. They both ended at the same time. They both got 40 apparently at the same time, even though it looked like Derek put his in there first. But it was by like a second. And so Derek ends up winning and Horacio is going home. So Jenny and Derek are safe. Jenny and Derek are safe. And at the end of it all, they have to pick um
Targets.
the new targets for next week. And really almost everybody was volunteering. Era one, Tina and CT volunteered, so they didn't really have to put no blood on their hands. And the only people who didn't volunteer, apparently, era three, is that the era that Kylan and Josh are on? No, is that four?
Era 4.
Four. So, but when it comes to era four, they had previously talked that no,
Yeah, Era 4 had previously talked, and Josh said
that
that
they
he
was
was going
gonna.
to
Josh said
nominate.
he was gonna
Yeah,
go,
and that he
but
was, and that's what I wanted to mention. That Josh had this whole spiel about he's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, evolutionary in shape, and that he's going to volunteer. He knows what it takes to win, even though he lost constantly. Did he
he
even
said
win
he
Big
was
Brother?
gonna volunteer.
He
Everybody
won Big
volunteered.
Brother, right?
Josh won Big Brother, yes.
Yeah, but he says he knows what it takes to win, but you haven't. But
Yeah. He said so. Kylan, when they was asking, like Jenny and Derek were just asking, like, anybody want to go? Anybody want to go? And mostly everybody volunteered, and except for Corey. I don't know why they ever expected him to volunteer, but I never expect Corey to volunteer. But
Corey said, "I'm gonna wait until
yeah, he was
everybody else
like,
have their turn,"
yeah. But when they
which is
went
smart
there,
though, because if you wait later on, you'll still have to go in eventually, but you can gauge like, okay, let me get some of these other players out, and then when it's like the weaklings or people I think I can beat, I can weasel my way in,
yeah.
and
But yeah, when Jenny and Derek asked Era 4, Kylan was waiting because he like Josh said he was gonna say something. He was like Josh. But Josh in the confessional said CT volunteered. I don't want no he said I'm not about to risk going against CT. He said he beat me before and I don't care. He said y'all call me scary, y'all can call me whatever you want, but I'm not volunteering. And so then Jenny was looking and Jenny was like, Kylan, and Kylan was like, basically, I'll take it because she had picked him. I don't know why she didn't pick Josh, but
yeah, it's not like he can be like, I'm not, like you can't refuse it. Like if
yeah,
they pick you,
yeah. So, but Kylan got picked because Josh did not volunteer, and Kylan said, this Kylan was like, there's three strikes, but this ain't baseball. So basically, he said I only got one strike with me. He
as
said
it should be,
Kylan's like you only got one strike with me and it's over. So Josh on his list. And
as
I'm
it
with him.
should
I was like,
be.
okay, Kylan. But yeah, so
But
It was
to
a good
give a
episode.
rundown is CT Tina, Nehemiah, Emily, Devin, Tori, and Kylan and Olivia.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good episode. It was a good episode.
I'm
Now,
mad that Horacio's gone. It does. Um, it sucks because it seems well. One, he wasn't in the mental space because Nerys was gone, but it does seem like each season since his debut, he's been going home
yeah,
earlier and
that's what he
earlier.
said in his
Uh,
final confessional. He said he think his rookie season was his best season, and these past 2 seasons he hasn't done his best. But I mean, I don't
I
consider
just feel like that's
39.
because his head's been other places.
Yeah, but 39, I don't think he could even hold out against himself or anybody could hold out against him.
Yeah,
39,
was
the chips
just
were
they was
stacked
just
against him.
brutal. Yeah,
It was literally nothing he could do. They were getting him out no matter what. They was out here
yeah,
doing
they
whatever.
was gonna
He
pull him by tooth and nail to
Yeah,
get that man
39,
up.
he came in there ready, but they were determined to get him out. So it really wasn't much he could do for 39.
Yeah.
But this season I will say, like, yeah, like he said, he wasn't really in the game once Nerys left. So maybe. But I'm sure they'll invite him back.
Well, he
And
said he kind of
let him go
retiring,
back.
so
But he said, but people have said they retired. So Leroy 2 seasons ago said he was retiring. It came back like the next season. So I don't believe anybody when they say they're retired. Johnny Bananas has retired. They threw the only person I think may hold true to retiring is Wes. He may hold true to retiring, but everybody else, I don't believe you.
what if they say this? What if CC said this is last season?
I doubt it. I don't believe it.
I think this will be a good season for CT to go out on,
Don't try to put
especially
that.
if he does win. This will be
If you win,
like
if you win, I'm sure everybody would hope it would see. All them challengers would be like, "Please, CT, quit. That's enough."
the
but
yeah.
no, I don't believe anybody's retired because I think once you're doing this for so long, probably you at home and then you watching the seasons on TV, you probably feel nostalgic, like I gotta go back, or
Yeah.
it's just something you used to. I don't know, but people tend to come back when they say they retire from challenge.
Yeah,
I
we'll
hope
see.
he does come back if he wants to, but I would still like to see Horacio on the challenge again. So that is our review and recap of the challenge, episode 4, season 40. Please let us know what you thought of the episode and our review and recap, and we will see you on our next video. Peace.